So what we're going to do today is we're going to go from vertex form to standard form. Vertex form is y equals ax minus p squared plus q. And then we're going to go to standard form, which is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. No brackets. So we're going to use polynomials of grade 10 to help us out here. A little bit of polynomial rules in grade 10 to help us out. So we're going from vertex form to standard form. Vertex form to standard form. So we can pick I can pick any vertex form I want. I can make these up like lickety split. I can just put anything in there. So let's go number 1. I'm going to do y equals 3 x minus 2 squared plus 1. Like they're not hard to make, right? I just make a vertex form and I say now convert it. If you follow the first step perfectly, you will get these all right, unless you're terrible at collecting like terms, which I don't believe you are. Okay? The first step always, whenever you see a squared, guys, you have to do this. If not, you're going to get it wrong every single time. In grade 10, you were taught this. So what people will do is they'll try and put the 2 into the x and the 2 into the 2, and they'll say it's x squared plus 4. And you'll be wrong every single time. Because x minus 2 to the 2, what does that mean? Anyone know? There's 2 of them. That's what it means. There's 2 of them. So my first step is to write 2 of them. If I see a squared in grade 11, 12, it doesn't matter, further on in life, if I see any binomial squared, or a trinomial squared, which you kind of did last year, if I see a binomial squared, I'm like, no thank you. I cross the 2 out and I write it out twice. That way you won't miss the middle term. Because you're going to FOIL. You're going to first, outer, inner, last, and you're going to get 3 terms instead of just 2 if you just put that 2 in, right? You see how there's that error that's going to happen? So when I see that 2, I immediately am like, no thank you, not today. I cross it out and I write it out twice. If you do that through all of your math from now to eternity, you will never get these questions wrong, ever. Okay? So that's going to be our first step. If you get that first step right, you're going to be golden. So I'm like, no thank you, I'm not doing that. So I'm like, nope, and I'm going to go x minus 2 twice. Now am I going to try and work it from that? No, that's terrible. Please don't try and like work it from here. Rewrite it out. I'm just proving a point. That means there's 2 of them. So I'm going to go, no thank you. I want 2 of them. So I'm going to go x minus 2 times x minus 2 plus 1. This is where we're going to bring your grade 10 back, and we're going to see how bad it was or how good it was in polynomial. So what I need you to understand is when there's a number in front of a bracket, it distributes until you hit an end bracket. When you hit an end bracket, it gets rid of the bracket, right? So when I used to teach grade 10, when I first started, I was like, oh, this can be easy. And then there was the craziest stuff that happened. It was bad. There were so many things, so many errors, so little time, okay? What I realized is you don't know when to stop. You guys will like distribute for life. You will distribute forever. Like just everything distributes to everything. And then like things happen and it's like this long page and it should have been 2 steps and it's like awful. That's what I noticed when I started teaching this. So the key thing is to learn when to stop, okay? It's not that people don't distribute enough. You distribute too much. That's your problem. It's like a distribution, like addiction you have. You just have to hone it in, okay? So, also, if you follow the same steps over and over and over, you won't make errors because you're going to keep doing the same thing over and over, okay? So what I see is I see this 3 in front and I want to put it in, correct? So what you guys will do is you'll distribute, 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 distribute. You might even take it to the 1. You're like, why not? Don't. Stop madness. Okay? So you distribute the 3 in. I distribute the 3 in, and I see an end bracket, and that end bracket screams at me, stop! Halt! No more. Non, en français. Stop. What is stop in French? What? Arrête. As I would say without the proper French, arrête. Yeah, because that's how it's spelled. A-R-R-E-T, isn't it? 7 years of French, don't fail me now. Very minimal remembering. I thought it was that, but I would have said arrête. Ah! You're winning. Plus you had a good accent on that and mine. No. Okay, So I feel like a rep is more like driving it home. Stop. Okay? So you hit that end bracket and you stop. And if you want to keep going, you slap yourself and you're like, no, stop. And you're like, Lepp, you're Lepp. No, I'm not joking. It's bad. People, you want to know how many of you? I guarantee you if I just let you go right now, you guys would have kept going. That 3 would have joined the next bracket. But does it? No, it hits an end bracket and that end bracket screams at you. I wish it did. I wish the end bracket, when you hit it, would be like, no, stop. It would be so great. But it doesn't. But I wish it did. I also wish your calculator was like, no, you idiot, put brackets around the fraction. Like, I wish it belittled you a little bit, you know? Stopped you from doing that. Not because I wanted you to feel bad, but because it would get you to stop making bad things, like the distribution problem, right? You'd only get yelled at, like told you're an idiot twice by your calculator, and then you'd stop. I think it would be good. I think it'd be great. I'm going to make a calculator that does that. I don't know if anyone will buy it, but I would. Okay, for my own welfare. Because I think if I got yelled at twice, I'd be like, okay, let's stop. Stop doing that. Not a deal. Okay, have I drilled home that the 3 stops at the bracket? Has it embedded itself in your brain? Because what's going to happen is I'm going to give you another question tomorrow, and you guys are going to distribute that 3 through 2 brackets, and I'm going to be so sad. So sad. But that's not going to happen. I believe in you. I believe you will stop. Okay? Okay, let's go. So that 3 is going to go in, and then we're going to get 3x minus 6. We agree? Okay, let's put a bracket. 3x minus 6. Why is there still a bracket? Because I took the 3 and I put it into that bracket, didn't I? Because I'm a rebel without a cause. And then I stopped because it yelled stop at me. Or it whispered it. I don't know. Either way, it did. Now, did I do anything to that x minus 2? No. Should I have? No. The answer is no. When you're like, yeah, you should. No. The 3 went in. The 3 stopped. It should make sense. You shouldn't do something because of memorizing. It should make sense. That I'm taking that 3 and I'm going, hey, I'm going to put it in with those 2. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then what? There's still brackets because I put it in with them, didn't I? It just makes sense, does it not? 3 goes in the bracket. Bracket. Boom. Done. Knowledge. Power. Okay. Carrying on. X minus 2 plus 1. You guys are going to distribute that 3 through. It's going to be ugly. I believe in you, though. I don't think you're going to do it. I think you're going to stop. Okay. Last year, you were taught how to deal with a binomial times a binomial. There was an acronym. It rhymes with oil and starts with an F. Do you remember it? FOIL. I just spelt it there for you indirectly. Okay. What the heck does FOIL stand for? FOIL stands for what? And this is when you have a binomial times a binomial. FOIL rhymes with, the F rhymes with earth. Oh, thank you. First. So first, and then the O rhymes with outer. And then inner, and then what? Last. Okay. Shh. You're ruining my fun here. Ruining it. Okay. Did you write that down, Demeteros?
Yes.
Yeah. Start copying. Let's go. Did you 2 write it down?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you spelled first backwards.
I put the T first.
All right. Never seen that happen, but we will take it. Okay. So we do first, outer, inner, last. What the heck does that mean? Even if you forget the acronym, all it means is everything in the first bracket needs to be multiplied by everything in the back bracket, right? So every term here needs to be multiplied by that. If you use first, it just does it. First, it does not. If you use FOIL, it just does it. Okay, so let's go. Okay, I forget that this one actually just adjusts. Okay, so first times first. This is the first one. This is the first one. We multiply them. What's 3x times x? 3x squared. The moment that you FOIL, the brackets go away. The moment that you FOIL, the brackets go away. And what do we want in the end? We want something that's vertex form to something without brackets. We agree? So after we FOILed, we're almost there. We're almost done. Okay, so first times first. Then we need outer times outer. So this is the outside one times the outside one. 3x times negative 2. Negative 6x. Then we do inside times inside. This is the inside one, inner times inner. Negative 6 times x, negative 6x. And then the last terms, negative 6 times negative 2, positive 12. And then we have this plus 1 sitting at the back. All the brackets are gone. We're so close. So close. So close. What do we have to do now? No. Yes. Okay. Collect like terms. So we get 3x squared. There's no brackets, you can't distribute. And then we get minus 6x. Minus 6x is minus 12x. And then plus 12 plus 1 is plus 13. We agree? This is also a question where you should walk away happy or crying, regroup, try again. Okay? How? How can I tell if I'm right? What could I do? What do you think? Anyone? Put in. That's way better than distribute the 3 when there was no 3 to distribute. Very good answer. Okay. Y1. Boom. Put this in. Not this weird x minus 2. Type the original into Y1. Type this into Y2. Make this a thicker line. And the thin line should have the thick line drawn on top of it. Go. Calculator. Y1, we're typing in 3x minus 2 squared plus 1. And then this is going into my Y2, and I'm making this thicker. And then I should have a thin line, and I should have a thick line. What I need you to do now is look for the y-intercept. So this is what we're going to do. Ready? When you hear y-intercept, what should you immediately think? What should fly out of your head? When you say y-intercept, what should you think? X equals 0. Yay! So if I'm looking for the y-intercept, I need x equals 0. We agree? I'm going to show you what the standard form is good for. It's good for 2 things. That's it. Vertex form is helpful. Vertex form gets you your vertex. It gets you your max. It gets you your min. It gets you your range. It gets you your domain. It gets you your axis of symmetry, right? So the vertex form gets us a whole bunch of stuff. We agree? Standard form gets us 2 things. It's all right. It's not all that helpful. But they'll make you convert to standard form. So, if I want the y-intercept, I know x equals 0. We agree? So say I plug 0 into here. What's going to happen? Y equals 3 times 0 squared minus 12 times 0 plus 13. What does it equal? 13. Does it not? So in standard form, you can get the y-intercept quickly. That's it. And you can know if it's concave up or concave down. That's it. So if I want the y-intercept, standard form is the way to go. Because this number back here, and remember standard form has no brackets. So don't go telling me that Q is your y-intercept. Some people will tell me this is my y-intercept. This is not my y-intercept. That's the y of the vertex. Right? It has to have no brackets. This, when there's no brackets, when it's in standard form, this is my y-intercept. So this right here is my y-intercept. So my y-intercept is at 0 and 13. So the constant is the term without a variable. The constant in standard form is always your y-intercept. So if I want a y-intercept, standard form is the way to go. It's really fast, right? The other thing it tells you is your leading coefficient tells you if it's concave up or concave down. So what is this one? That's positive. So it's concave up. That's all standard form is good for. So like the last question in your quiz. That quiz we just did, go back to that last question. If you can find it. Go back to that question. I want you to get that equation of that graph in standard form. So we're going back to here. I want this in standard form. I want this in standard form. So let's go over it. If I asked you for this graph in standard form, would I just go right to standard form? Can I do that? No, I would have to do all the same steps. I would have to get it in vertex form first. then convert, correct? Every time I ask you for an equation of a graph, you have to get it into vertex form, then convert. So let's try it out. So I did this. I have to do this. This is not an option. I have to do this. Then I convert. So I'm going to go y equals negative a half x minus 3 times x minus 3 plus 1. Now, instead of distributing the negative a half first, what could I have done instead of putting the negative a half in? What could I do first? So I can put the negative a half in and then work with fractions, or I can, nope, or I can FOIL this. Because we're in, no, Batman, it's not.
Batman.
Yeah, I'm calling it. You're Spider-Man, so. Yeah. All right, so instead of putting the negative a half into the first bracket and foiling, you could just FOIL those two brackets, then put the negative a half in. And I would suggest that if your A is a fraction, it'll make it easier. So you can FOIL these first. So that's what I'm going to do. There's two ways you can get standard form. You can either put the number into the first bracket, then FOIL, or you can FOIL first, then put the number in, which is what I'm going to do in this instance. So there's two methods. I don't care which one you pick. Pick one, stick to it. Okay? So here I'm going to go negative 1/2, and then I FOIL this. So I'm going to get a bracket. When I FOIL it, I go first times first. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. And then negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. And then I'm going to collect like terms in that bracket. So I'm going to get negative a half x squared minus 6x plus 9 plus 1. So I FOILed first this time instead of distributing the number in, right? Both will give me the same answer, so whatever way you like better, you do. What do I have to do now? Multiply by negative a half, correct? Distribute it in. And once I distribute it in, the brackets go away because I'm distributing and I'm hitting an end bracket and it's saying stop. So I'm going to go like this, then like this, then like this, then I hit an end bracket and I stop, right? Because the end bracket screams stop. So I'm going to get negative 1/2 times x squared, which is negative 1/2 x squared. Then I'm doing negative a half times negative 6. Negative a half times negative 6 is 3. If that doesn't make sense to you, type it into your calculator. But fractions have to go in what? Brackets. So type in negative a half times negative 6. Make sure you put your fraction in brackets. And you should get 3. Everyone should be trying it out. Negative a half times negative 6. So you should get 3x. You just don't put the variable in. Then we do negative a half times 9. Try it out. Negative a half times 9. So we're going to get negative 9/2 plus 1. And then I put these together. So type that in. You should get negative 11/2. Because you can make a common denominator multiplying the 1 by 2 over 2. Oh, not negative a half, 11/2, negative 7 over 2. Because the 1 you can turn to a 2 over 2, and negative 9 over 2 plus 2 over 2 is negative 7 over 2. What's my y-intercept at? 0 and? Negative 7 over 2. So is your constant. Is this one concave up or concave down? Down. It still is. The graph was down when we started it, right? So if I ask for standard form from of equation of a graph, can I just go to a standard form? No. If I ask for an equation of a graph, it doesn't matter if I ask for standard or vertex. I have to do vertex form first, then convert. That's the only way I can do it. I can't go directly to standard. If you try, it's not going to work out well for you. And I always have someone on the test try and put it into standard form, and then they get stuck and they give me something really terrible, and it doesn't match, and then they don't try and revamp. Okay? So, equation of a parabola. You have to go to vertex form first, even if I ask for it in standard form. Okay? All right. Go back to your notes. I'm going to give you 2 to practice. You're going to do 2 of them. You're going to try converting from from vertex to standard. Do I have to actually give you the answer to know if you're right or wrong? No. You can type in Y1, Y2. Y1 can be vertex, Y2 can be standard. They should match, right? So you shouldn't even have to look, if you're doing this conversion, you shouldn't even have to look at the back of your textbook, because you can go Y1, Y2, correct? Okay, so on that separate sheet, here are the 2 you're going to try. So we're in the notes part again. Number 2, you're going to go Y equals 3x plus 1 squared plus 2. And then number 3, you're going to do Y equals negative 2 x minus 4 squared plus 3. Try those 2 out. You're converting to standard form from vertex form. We're going to go through them quickly. So we're going to get Y equals 3 x plus 1 plus 2. So I get Y equals, now you could either FOIL the 2 or distribute the 3 in first. It doesn't matter which one you choose, just make sure you're getting it right. Correct? There's 2 methods. I don't care which one you choose. I'm going to distribute it in first, but if you FOIL and then distribute 3 in, you'll get the same answer. So I get 3x plus 3 times x plus 1 plus 2. Y equals 3x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 3 plus 2. And then I collect like terms. So I get 3x squared plus 6x plus 5. Did everyone get that? Now we should be able to check. Y1, Y2. We agree? Now what's my Y-intercept? Because that's what I want you to give me every single time. It's a coordinate. So it's at 0, 5. And is it concave up or concave down? That's the 2 things I want you to give me every time. It's a plus 3. So it's concave up. Then we'll do this one. So we get Y equals negative 2, x minus 4 times x minus 4 plus 3. I'm going to do this the other way because I just didn't show you that both ways work. It doesn't really matter, right? So I'm going to FOIL these 2 first, just to prove that you can pick this one or this method, and it doesn't matter, as long as you're not making a mistake. So negative 2, and then in a bracket, x times x, x squared. Negative 4x, plus 16, plus 3, and then I have to distribute. If you did it the other way, don't go erasing it, as long as yours is right. Negative 2x squared, negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8x, negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8x, negative 2 times 16 is negative 32, plus 3. So I get Y equals negative 2x squared plus 16x minus 29. What's my Y-intercept at? 0 and negative 29. And is it concave up or concave down? I'm giving you 4 questions on this board for homework. 4. I'm not giving you an answer key because they don't have to. Why don't I have to? Put in your calculator, you can check it. And I don't want to give you an answer key because I want you to practice with your calculators because you guys haven't used them a lot, right? So you practice. You can also check your Y-intercept. So can everyone type this into their calculator, please? I just want to show you how you can check your Y-intercept using your calculator as well. So type in negative 2x squared plus 16x minus 29, just to double check. So type that one into your Y equals. Now our Y-intercept x equals 0, we agree? Right? Everyone's following along? Our Y-intercept x equals 0, so this is how we do it. We go second trace. And why do we go second trace? Because we're calculating something. We're calculating the value. So whenever we know an x, this is where we go. If we know an x and we want a y, this is where we go. Well, we know x equals 0 when it's a Y-intercept, correct? So you're going to go second trace value, and what pops up? X equals, and what are you going to put? 0, enter, and what do you get? Negative 29. Oh my goodness, it comes up for us. Isn't that a miraculous way of finding it? So we are going to check it. That's going to be good. All right. So, negative 29 is what it is, and we can check with our calculator, right? So do I have to give you an answer key at all? No. Should you know if you're right or wrong? Yes, because your calculator can help you. So far, I have taught you 3 lessons of which you can check everything with your calculator. Correct? Now, if all you use is your calculator to give me a y-intercept and I ask you to put it into standard form in the y-intercept, what are you going to get for marks? 6 0 zilch, the big O. If I say algebraically and you use your calculator, how many marks you get? Big old 0. Okay?
What if you get the answer?
You won't get nothing on the diploma. 0. They'll give you 0 if it says algebraically and you do it graphically. That much. If it's a multiple choice, I know no different. Numeric response, I know no different. But written response matters. All right. Here's your 4 questions. These are your homework questions. I'm giving you 4. If you work now, you'll be done them. If you work now, you'll have no homework. It'll be classwork. Okay. So we're converting to standard form. That's the first bullet. Standard form means no brackets, right? Then you're giving me the y-intercept in a coordinate. And then you're also telling me if it's concave up or concave down. And then you can check with your calculator if you're right. How can you check if you're right? You type it in and you look. Is it up or down? It's crazy. It's crazy. Rocket science it is. Truth. Okay. So number 1, y equals 2, x minus 4 squared plus 6. Number 2, y equals negative x plus 4 squared plus 1. What is a negative in front, just? Yeah, but what is a negative? What can I use for the number to distribute in? 1. Negative 1. Okay. 3, y equals negative 4, x minus 4 squared plus 3, and then I'm giving you a fraction. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 1 squared plus, not plus, minus 3. Those are your 4 questions, and you can check them. I don't need to give you answers, right? If you work now, you'll be finished.